live across YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Give me just a sec. Yeah, there we go. Okay, give me just a second. We finna go live, fam. And let's hit that record button. Hold on 1 second,
Yep.
fam. All right, greetings, everyone. This is Mustafa, your digital marketing specialist, the founder of the Digital Domination Tribe. As promised, we are doing a live masterclass Zoom today based on some things that I saw floating around social media, which was relating to poor AI design. And it started with this quote that someone shared with me right here. And it says that all of your flyers are starting to look the same. And I had noticed that before, but hearing that quote, I started to look at it a little closer. And I saw designs that did look the same. I saw designs which I thought were very poor. I saw designs which I thought were ridiculous. No checking done on them or anything, and just being put out. And I wanted to put this together to show that AI has greater power than what may be seen in these poor designs or these duplicate designs, things people just copying other people. So I want to put my little knowledge on the table to show that AI can produce some really amazing designs. I know because I do it every day. I do it all the time. I do it for myself and I do it for others. But the key to making these things happen is your knowledge of prompting. And this is a mini class, so I won't go very, very deep into prompting and the knowledge of prompting. That's going to be on the next master class. It's going to be very intense and in depth. But in this mini master class, I just want to introduce you to ways to prompt better so that you can get better output from your flyers. If you put a flyer out there and you put your name on it or your company or your brand, anything that identifies you, that reflects on you. So if you put out poor AI design, that doesn't necessarily reflect bad on AI or make the company of AI look bad. That makes your brand look bad. That makes your business look bad. That makes you as a person look bad. So in this mini masterclass, we're just going to go over some of those things that I know to do that will make you get better output, that will allow you to have some designs, AI designs that you can be proud of to say that this represents my brand. So let's get ready to, let me share my screen. Let's go over here. Let's do this right here. All right. So we should be in the sharing mode. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to show you a bad example first before we go into the ways of creating good examples of AI. And if you have any questions out there, put those questions in the comments and I will try to see if I can get those comments and respond to them and give some insight. But if you see this right here, this is an example of straight up bad, poor AI slop, as they call it. This was someone trying to show you remember the movie Notorious, based on the life of Notorious Big, Biggie Smalls? Well, this was someone who tried to compare the cast of the 2009 Notorious movie to where they are in 2026. And if you look at both sides, if you on a computer or if your screen is big enough, you can see on one side they got the 2009 cast. They got Angela Bassett. They got, I don't know who this guy is up here. I guess that's supposed to be Jamal Willard. They got Anthony Mackie, and someone's supposed to be Derek Luke. And even on the 2009 side, you see they got Derek Luke with a woman's hair. They got him pretty much being like a woman. But that's poor AI design. And if we go over to 2026, you see the cast, the update. Anthony Mackie, he looks good. The AI made Anthony Mackie look pretty good. He aged, progressed really good. But look at Derek Luke. This is supposed to be Derek Luke next to Anthony Mackie, but they made him a woman. That's AI. Then go up to a top Derek Luke and you see Jamal Willard. And they made a duplicate of Anthony Mackie to represent Jamal Woolard. Angela Bassett looks great. AI did do Angela Bassett really, really well. So that's the problem. When you don't prompt correctly or you use generic prompts, then AI will fill in the gaps with what it thinks it should do, and what it thinks should be done is most likely not the right thing. So AI is like really talking to somebody who don't know you that well, or you're giving commands to somebody, and you have to fill in all the gaps. Like if I tell you, go shopping for me, that's very broad. I didn't tell you what to shop for me. I didn't tell you what store to go to. I didn't tell you what my spending limit is. I didn't tell you which debit card or my credit card. I didn't tell you whether I wanted meat, whether I wanted vegetables, whether I wanted sweets. I just told you go shop. And if all I tell you is go shop, now you got to fill in the blanks and fill in the gaps. Well, last time he did want a New York strip steak. Last time he wanted a baked potato. Last time he wanted a cake. Last time he wanted Haagen-Dazs ice cream. So you're left to try to figure out, what do I really want if I give you a straight command, go shopping. Well, that's what happens when you give generic prompts to AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. You say, create a flyer or create a flyer for hair design. You have given no context. You haven't told them who you are. You haven't told them who your audience is. You haven't told them the age range. You haven't given no type of specifics. So what AI is going to start doing is going to start filling in the blanks, filling in gaps. And that's where you end up with all these kind of crazy designs like this. This is very clear that there was not a lot of specifics made in this particular design. So that's the problem. So what we want to do is go into what is a solution. How can we come out with some better flyers and some better AI designs and some better AI graphic outputs? So the key is prompting. The prompt is just giving a command. AI is only as good as the commands you give it. I'm gonna say that one more time. AI is only as good as the prompts or the commands that you give it. AI is not sentient. AI doesn't wake up and think, I want to eat breakfast today. AI doesn't wake up and think, what should I do for the next 8 hours? AI is an empty slate waiting for you to prompt and give it commands. So the output that you get is dependent on the commands and the prompts that you give to AI. So in this portion, we're going to just go over those key factors that will give you good outcomes by using great prompts. They say in producing a good flyer, you have to answer the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. And we're going to apply that to this design that we're going to make. Who, what, when, where, and why. I won't waste your time. I did write down the prompts already in advance. So let's go ahead and put this in. This is a prompt that you can use actually. Let's put that in there. Okay, we're gonna type this in. Matter of fact, before I do that, let's go over here. Let's do this. Let's just play around with it. Let's go over to images. And feel free to open up your chat GPT while I'm doing this and see what you get. Let's put in a super generic prompt. Let's say design a flyer for me as someone in the hair industry. All right, let's see what they do. It's gonna take a few seconds. Now that's real generic right there. But it's gonna try to fill in the gaps. It's gonna try to figure out, well, what does he mean? Who is he trying to reach? Is he trying to reach black women? Is he trying to reach white women? Is he trying to reach Asian women? Because I didn't tell it nothing specific. Is he in Georgia? Is he in Florida? Is he in California? It don't know what I'm trying to reach. It's just gonna guess to the best of its ability. So let's see what comes out with just a generic prompt like that. There you go. There you go. See, that's a generic prompt that produced a generic flyer. Now, the flyer on itself, it looks pretty decent. I can kind of rock with that, but we got to specify that because I'm a black man. And if I was in the hair industry, I would be dealing with a black clientele primarily. So that image right there, that doesn't work for me. Nothing wrong with the image, but based on the target audience that a black female hair stylist would be going after, that image wouldn't work for her. The design is pretty generic. AI tried to fill in the gaps. It gave some sparkles and things like that. And on its own, that's a really good flyer. But the thing is, you got hundreds of other people putting in that same generic prompt saying, design a flyer for me as someone in the hair industry, as someone in the real estate industry, as someone in the exercise industry, as someone in the food industry. And when everyone puts in that same prompt, everyone getting that same kind of design. So that may be a good design for you. You know, you may need to change the racial demographic of it, but 100 other people gonna have that same flyer just like you got. So what we have to do is get specific and we have to get intentional on who we are actually trying to reach. So we're gonna start over there. So that doesn't work for us, right? So remember I said in the flyer, you want to answer who, what, when, where, and why. So look at the prompt that I just put in. I write all my prompts from scratch, but to save time and me trying to do it in real time, and sometimes I have to correct stuff or change something out, and that can be time consuming in real time while you're sitting here watching. But we first have to ask who. As I said, AI is not sentient, meaning it's not awake, it's not aware, it doesn't have a personality, it's just a blank slate. So you have to tell AI who it's supposed to be, what it need to be doing. So in this instance, the who. So we say, as my professional graphic designer. That's the first thing you got to do on your prompt. You have to tell the AI it needs to be functioning as a professional graphic designer. So that answers the who. Who are you? Who am I trying to reach? So you are my professional graphic designer. The next thing we want to tell it is what are the specifics of the flyer that we're trying to create. Now on social media, there's two type of sizes that you want to try to use. You can use 1080 by 1080, which will create a meme postcard type design, which fits really compact in like Facebook. It's good for Instagram. It's good for TikTok. It's good for all of social media, but Instagram and those graphic type social media sites like Instagram and TikTok, 1080 by 1080 is going to give you a good graphic because you want a graphic that people can actually see. I'm sure you have seen instances where someone posted a graphic or a flyer and half some of it's cut off. You can't see. You got to, click on it to expand it to be able to see everything that's in that graphic. But if you stick to those right sizes, 1080 by 1080, and if you want to do a portrait size, you can do 1080 by 1350. That's the other size that you can use. If you stick between those two, that would generally give your image the visibility that can be seen on like a smartphone, on a tablet, as well as a full-fledged laptop like I'm on right now. So we answered the who. As my professional graphic designer, that's who you want to tell AI to be if you're trying to do flyers or any type of social media graphics, thus and so. So I'm going to say in this one, create a 1080 by 1350 social media graphic that would serve as advertisement for blank. So we're going to fill in the blank. Let's say hair care, a hairstylist for my hairstyling business. Okay. So now we have told it what. So who it is, you're my professional graphic designer. You're creating a 1080 by 1350 social media graphic that would serve as advertisement for my styling business. Next, who are you trying to reach with the flyer? So my audience will be those, let's say Black American women. And you have to be very specific with AI. As I say, AI, it's a great tool, but AI is only as good as what you tell it. So you can put my audience would be Black women, but that can be, it can interpret that as Black women in Africa, Black women in India. You have to be very specific. You want to say Black American women if you're a hairstylist in America. So let's say Black American women and watch what this do. Okay. Okay. Now this right here, I add this little sentence right here. If you're going to put any images, you're going to upload images of yourself in your flyer. You have to give this command to AI, because what AI will do, if you put an image of yourself, AI will sometimes change the image of you, or it will try to reinterpret the image of you. So to stop it from doing that, you have to say if there are any included pictures of me, they should be 1-to-1, meaning the image should be as I give it to you, you should put it out the same way with no AI alterations. Then the next thing you want to say is the text should be readable on smaller screens like a smartphone. So that way, when the flyer is designed or the meme is designed, the text may look perfect on a laptop like I'm on, but you want to tell AI also make that text sized enough so that if someone's on an iPhone, if they're on an Android, if they're even on a tablet, that text translate over that is viewable on both of those devices. So next, the overall design should be minimalist without looking AI generic. See, you just dropped a bomb right there. See, as I showed you earlier, if you put in that generic prompt, create me a flyer for a hairstylist, then 100 other people put in that same prompt, you're gonna get hundreds of flyers looking the same. So you just drop something in there that just changed that whole game. See, you said the overall design should be minimalist without looking AI generic. So you're prompting and telling AI, I know you would like to create some generic stuff because hundreds of other people have already put in generic prompts. So what you're doing is saying, bypass all of that generic stuff and make mine specific and unique to me. Now, next, we're going to say, pay a special attention to spacing as to not create a cluttered look. Now, I wish I can go back and get that image without messing this up. Mm. Well, if you look at some flyers, and I've seen these on social media that's been created with AI has a tendency, I don't know why, to create a very cluttered type flyer where it just is so much going on where the eye can easily get distracted, where it should be really simple. It should be a nice header, it should be a nice image, it should be a nice what is about, why should I care, and a call to action and some contact. Those are the things that should be on a good design flyer. But AI seems to create so much going here, there, and everywhere where the eye can get just fatigued because you're looking at all this text that is trying to get you to read. So we're going to say pay special attention to spacing as to not create a cluttered look. You don't want your flyer or your meme or your postcard image to look cluttered. You want it to look real clean, very minimalist, very straight to the point. So if someone look at it on the first look, they can get an idea who is this from and what is this about and where are they trying to point me direction to. So the next thing I say is the header should read in bold text. So you want that header, which is going to be the top of the flyer. You want that in bold text so that when they get that first glance, that catches them. Boom, whether that's your hairstylist, whether you're real estate, whether you some type of marketing, whether you're in insurance, whether you're selling some food, you want that header to be right there, boom, so that they see it and they respond and they want to know more. So they go from the header to what are the finer details, what is this about? Boom, boom, boom. That's when you hit them with them bullet points and those specifics to let them know what this is about. So we say the header should be in bold text. And I left that blank because this is a prompt that I'm going to give to you that you can use for your own self to customize. That right there don't matter. That's some stuff I use for another design. Okay. The last thing I said is it is important that the CTA, the call to action, is designed in a way to draw attention with the text. So let's look at the hierarchy of the flyer. We got the header, we got some type of imagery going on to catch the eye, looks very attractive. Then we got, what this is about, your bullet points, your instructions, da 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 da. And then you want to have that final call to action. So I say it's important that the call to action is designed in a way to draw attention with the text. And I don't have anything right now. Let's just put in this is a test, but you can put in your call CTA whatever you like. Okay. So this is just something generic I just popped in there for, time being. I put in this is a test, but you can put in your CTA, whatever you like. So let's just go over this prompt one more time. Now I know this may seem very wordy. People may say, I just want to put in something real simple, create a flyer. My name is blah, blah, blah. My hairstyling business is blah, blah, blah. My insurance company is blah, blah, blah. My food company is blah, blah, blah. My marketing company is blah, blah, blah. This event I got coming up, blah, blah, blah. I just want to say that, say create a flyer, put in a date and address, and just let it do its thing. You're going to get something real generic that everybody else got. So these are the things that you have to do to get a good prompt. And I think I'm gonna create a graphic, which will be a prompting cheat sheet, which will have the top things you need to do to create any type of AI design. So we said that you have to tell AI who it is and what it needs to be focusing on. So in this instance, we said as a professional graphic designer. So you just gave AI a persona of who it needs to be. Then you want to create some guardrails where we told it that the size is 1080 by 1350. We want a social media graphic that would serve as advertising for my, I didn't put in there, let's put in there hairstyling business. Then we had to tell AI who it should be reaching for because we don't want it just putting any type of generic audience out there. So my audience should be those Black American women. We can put on there who would be interested, who, yeah, would be interested. And pardon my spelling, I'm much better at that, but I'm trying to do this in real time and not waste your time. So I may misspell some things. Interested in hair care. So, okay, so the audience we're telling AI is would be those Black American women who would be interested in hair care. So, boom, we got that covered. If we include a picture of yourself and you don't want AI to alter that picture or turn you into somebody else, as we saw in this image over here, see, it turned Derek Luke into a woman. So if you don't want it to turn your picture into something else other than yourself, you got to give it some instructions, fam. You got to say the included picture of me should be 1-to-1, meaning what I upload as a picture, you output that same picture 1-to-1. And you say with no AI alterations. Then we told this prompt, the text should be readable on smaller screens like smartphones. The overall design should be minimalist without looking AI generic. So you just stopped it from being a copycat of 100 other people who just put in prompts trying to get hairstyling flyers, right? Pay special attention to spacing as to not create a cluttered look. So you want a clean flyer, clean graphic, clean meme, clean postcard, right? The header should read in bold text. Let's put something in there. Let me see. Okay, we're just gonna put in some Stacy hair care for you. Yeah. And I'm just putting in real generic stuff. I'm not in the hair styling industry, so this is not stuff that I can really think of what would need to be said to that audience to make it pop. So I'm just putting in generic stuff, put in what you will or whatever your interest is in, you can put that in. But the header we're going to put in Stacy hair care for you. Let's take that out. That does not matter in this one. Okay. It's important that the CTA is designed in a way to draw attention with the text, and the call to action is this. This is a text test, but you can put in your CTA whatever you like. So we're going to submit this, and let's see what type of flyer the almighty AI gives for us. Let's see if this looks a little bit more attractive than something that may be generic based. And if it's not, we got a solution for that as well. But let's see what AI kicks out. It's going to take a few seconds. Okay. It's giving me like a little preview of it. You may see it starting to come to life. Let's see what happens. Uh, okay. That came out very minimalist. I don't like that myself. But that gives you something to work with versus something super generic like that. You can work with that. So this is where we're going to show how to correct if AI gives you something that just not working for you. As I said, this flyer will not come out the best because I'm not in the haircare industry. So I don't really have all the right keywords and all the right things to say. But if you use that prompt that I gave and you put in those right keywords and put in those right CTAs for a hairstylist, and in that flyer, it's gonna come out really popping. But let's say this. You say, I don't like this, this don't look real cool. So we're gonna let AI grade its own work. So this is what you put in right here. We go again as my professional. Oh Lord. As my professional graphic designer, give me your feedback of this design and what could be done to make it better. Okay. So if your design is not what you like and it's just, it ain't doing nothing for you, you can prompt AI again to look at it with the eyes of a professional graphic designer where you get a second opinion. And you ask AI, give me your feedback of what you just created. So let's put it in and see what it says. Okay, it's a lot of stuff. You can, I don't want to really waste your time, but it basically said this is a solid foundation, which I said, this is a good something to work with. It's clean, it's readable, and clearly positioned for your target audience. You avoided the biggest mistake most AI generated flyers make, overcrowding, which is a strong win. Now let's tighten this into something that feels premium, intentional, and high converting. So it's giving this grade the strengths, strong readability, minimalist layout, clear brand focus, CTA is visible and distinct. Uh, okay, the specific design feedbacks improvement. This is what you want to really focus on. It says the header hierarchy needs more authority. So it says Stacy hair care for you is clean but not dominant enough. As I said, I don't know, I'm not a hairstylist, so I didn't give the best header, it says. So it says the fix is increase the size of hair care in Stacy Bow. Image framing feels safe, not premium. So standard center square within bolder. Icons are weakening the design. Tagline is good but needs emotional push. CTA design is strong but copy is weak on purpose. Yep. Spacing is good but can be more strategic. Color palette stable needs identity. Missing trust builders. Okay. So AI serving as a professional graphic designer, the design that it just made, it graded a 7.5 out of a 10. See, AI just graded itself. It gave it a 7.5 out of 10. So it says with improvements, it can bring it up to a 9 to 10 potential. So if you want, let's redesign this into a premium version. Let's see what happens. So boom, we're just gonna tell AI to redesign this into a premium version, and let's see what we get. I think we're gonna get something a lot better if we go this route. Okay, let's see what we got. All right, come on, AI. Let's see what you got. It's like this big old reveal finna happen. Decide just roll it out real slow and builds the anticipation, like, man, what they finna do for me? What I got, what I got, what I got. Okay. Man, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. You can still, customize it and work with it and tweak it, but already that looks a whole lot better. Let me see if I can go back to that first design that it gave. No. Okay, it definitely looked better than that. That looked kind of real plain Jane right there. But that right there, that got a little pop to it right there. That's something, if you take it as that, or even if you kind of tweak it a little bit, that's something you can be proud of. That right there is not necessarily going to look like 100 other people, because 100 other people did not put in the specific prompts that we just did. So let's go back and let's do a comparison. Okay. Okay, there we go. Let's look at the three designs. Okay. Excuse me. When I put in a generic prompt, right? And I just said, I think I said, create a flyer for someone in the hair care industry, right? That's what it gave us right there. That looks generic. If you're a black woman hairstylist, that image of that woman does not speak to your demographic necessarily. Or if you're in a different demographic, that may not speak to your demographic. So it looks kind of a lot going on, a lot to read, a lot of information going on. And there's 100 other people who use that same generic prompt. So that image right there, you'll see that 100 times with certain iterations. And then we put in a specific prompt to design something specific for us. So it's not done by 100 other people, right? And then it gave us something kind of bare bones, kind of minimalist. We worked with it. And then we went back into AI and we said, as my professional graphic designer, grade the work that you just did and give me suggestions for improvement, right? And AI went in and graded its own work right here and said, I would rate this a 7.5. But if you put in these suggestions and these transformations, you can bring it up to a 9 or a 10. So we started there, then boom, we got that right there. A much more attractive flyer. All right, let's go back to where am I at? Okay. So that looks a whole lot more attractive. And you can play around with this as many times as needed. You can go back into AI and say, hey, as my professional graphic designer, grade this that you just did. And then it will give a number. It would tell the strengths. It would tell the weaknesses of what it just graded. And then it would tell the things that you can do to improve the design to make it pop. And you can play around and do that. I won't do that right now. The next thing I would say to do is to always get a second opinion. How do you do that in AI? So we're not going to put a prompt in this same thread again, because this thread has already been it's already been set up for what we're trying to do. So if you put a prompt in, it's going to do more of the same. So we're going to open another AI chat GPT chat. Let me copy this again right here. So I want you to pretend like we just went to graphic designer A, right? And we gave graphic designer A everything that I just gave in that prompt, who we are, what we're about, who our target audience is, what we hope to achieve, what our CTA is, and the graphic designer took our input and created a design, right? So say I'm not feeling it. So we can virtually go to graphic designer B. So let's go over here. Let's do this again. We're gonna close that out. Boom, we just opened up another chat. So as a alternate, let's add this as a let's see, how do I want to say this? As an alternate, let's say as an alternate professional, as another, as another professional graphic designer. Okay, there we go. So we're going to say as another professional graphic designer, create what we just asked designer A to be. So this is designer B. So let's put in designer B. Let's see what designer B does. And this is the strategy of always get a second opinion. Even if what AI designed for you is really good, you like it, I still suggest maybe going in and getting a second opinion, meaning going to a virtual another designer and see what other design it comes out with. And between the two designs or three designs or four designs, if you go that route, see it did it generic again. So let's let's say this. This looks generic. Can you make it more elegant in design to attract my audience? AUDIENCE. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not going to ask designer B or AI to grade itself. I'm just going to put in this generic prompt right now just for time, but you know what to do. Just ask it to grade itself, and based on the suggestions it give, ask it to make those additions. So I just told it straight up, this looks generic. Can you make it more elegant in design to attract my audience? So let's see what comes out. And I'm going to get you right out of here. I'm not going to hold you much longer. All right, we give it a few seconds. Okay, I think I already see some signs of something looking really nice coming out. Stacy hair care for you. Da, 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 da. Okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna be real nice. What's finna come out? All right, come on, fam. Eh, okay. It's still not where I would like it, but you can see the improvements being made from that to that. It tried to make it a little bit more elegant, and you can get it to where you want it, as I showed you with let's go back to the previous example, that you can get this to where you want it, but you see the improvement from a basic generic design. You asked it to correct itself, it gave you that, which looks a lot better. And then we went to designer B, it created something generic again. And that's just based on my prompt. And my prompt was it was detailed, but for someone in the haircut industry, it was still generic because I don't know the language and the mentality and the ins and out of the haircut industry. So I couldn't really put in those things that would make that prompt really pop. So that's why it came out generic. But if you're in the hair care industry, or if you're in the insurance industry or the real estate industry, you know those keywords and you know those things that need to be said or touched on in a flyer to make it do what it need to do. So and then the correction made that. So that's pretty much it, fam. I just wanted to show you those things right there. So In this mini masterclass, we did learn that, let's go back to this. You don't have to rely on stuff like this where AI will give these crazy designs where it's turning men into the women, it's duplicating, and stuff not making sense. The names are not matching up, or just a bunch of craziness. And that comes by poor prompting, meaning you didn't give specific enough commands to AI. So AI decided to fill in the gaps and to fill in the blanks. And those filling in the blanks and filling in the gaps is not going to be what you want, and it's going to make look crazy. So the key to creating these great designs, yeah, I still got it in there. Let's start over again. Let's put that in there. Is you got to start with a really good prompt. It can be time consuming. The more you prompt, the easier it's going to get. I prompt multiple times a day. I just come up with ideas of prompts that I want to create to do certain things, or if I want to give them to certain people. I can write a real estate prompt and I can give it to someone. I'm not in real estate, but I can create a prompt and I say, hey, I think this will work really good in your industry. I just want to share this with you. If you use AI or ChatGPT or any of the generative AI tools, here's something that you can use that will make things better in your industry. Or I can do it in the nutrition, dietitian, all of those industries. I can create these prompts. But just to give you a basic, you want to make sure you tell AI what its persona should be. In this instance, professional graphic designer. Then you want to give it some guardrails. In this instance, we want to tell it the size of the image we want. In this instance, we used a portrait size, which was 1080 by 1350. It's a social media graphic that would serve as advertisement for what? What is it doing it for? My hairstyle and business. Fill in the blank or whatever your industry is in. You got to tell it who your audience is, who you're trying to reach. You can go even specific to age, whether it's a younger demographic, an older demographic, a black demographic, a white demographic, an Asian demographic. Whether whether they're north, whether they're south, the more specific you get, the better results you're going to be. So explain to it who you are trying to reach, right? Then if you're going to use images of yourself or images of others, and you don't want those images to be alterated or turned into something crazy, you got to put in a line that says the included picture of me should be 1-to-1, meaning what I kick in, that's what you put back out, same, with no AI alterations. You want to put that the text should be readable on smaller screens like a smartphone. So if someone's reading your flyer or your meme, you don't want it to be so small where they're squinting or trying to expand it and you just miss, an opportunity. The overall design we say should be minimalist without looking AI generic. So that's going to be a guardrail to stop AI from creating something generic that may have been done 100 other times, because you want your graphic to be unique to you and stand out and pop. Then you tell it pay special attention to spacing as to not create a cluttered look. You don't want clutter. You want clearness. You want header, information, your image, CTA, contact, address, boom, they out. The header should be in bold text. You want to catch their attention. And it's important that the CTA is designed in a way to draw attention. So as they scan down that flyer and they get ready to close out, you want that CTA, that call to action, to be as designed the best way it can be, so it grabs their attention and makes them want to take that next step with you. So those are everything that I know that I do on a regular basis for myself and other clients to produce attractive flyers or attractive memes or attractive postcard type designs when you're using AI. And to all my graphic designers out there, I'm not telling anyone to not go get a graphic designer. There are some things that are of a complex nature that I don't want to say AI can't do it, but you got to produce a hell of a prompt to get it done. And I don't know if I have the kind of ability to produce those kind of prompts yet. But if there's something very complicated or very specific or very you really need it to be customized to you, I still advise go get you a graphic designer. But you can use AI, even if you go get a graphic designer, you can use AI to create a mock-up of the idea of what you have. You can create something, a design, and you can say, hey, this is kind of what I'm thinking about doing. Can you build something off of that? So AI still can help you, even if you go to a professional graphic designer. And just play around with it, just practice. The more you prompt, the better you're going to be. The more you prompt, the more you're going to learn certain little things that may work specifically for you and your particular situation. So that's everything I wanted to say. This is Mustafa, your digital marketing specialist, the founder of the Digital Domination Tribe. I hope and pray that something that I said was educational for you, that you learned something, that answers some questions, is going to inspire you to do some good prompts and some greater designs. And hopefully in the very near future, we won't see crazy AI slop going down our timeline. We'll see attractive designs. I mean, your design should be so attractive and so well put that someone will sit there and ask, damn, did AI do that or did they go to a professional graphic designer? Because it's so put together. And that's what you want. That's what I want to help you put out in this particular masterclass. So that's everything I wanted to give to you. It went a little bit longer than I intended, but hey, it's good information. Play this back, stop it, pause it, look at the prompt, break it down, decide how you can use this prompt in your particular instance, and let's go on, win and shine, fam. Uh, Check me out at digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That's www.digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. That is my one-stop shop. That would take you to my website, which will tell you everything about me and what I do with digital marketing, with AI, with content creation, content marketing. I do it all. That will link you to my website, which will connect you to my blog. It'll connect you to my podcast. It'll connect you to my YouTube channel, which I have hundreds of videos like this where I'm giving the game, I'm breaking it down, I'm giving you all the secret sauce. I'm telling you how to go on and win with this AI in your marketing and your digital marketing endeavors. I'm showing you how to do it. Check out that podcast. I got ebooks, I got white sheets, I got so much information on my website that it's impossible for you to not win if you would just partake of what I'm giving you with the information. So I invite you to come to digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. I also offer consultation. If you want to talk to me on a one-on-one basis, you can go to my website, digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. And there's an opportunity for you to link up with me one-on-one if you have a specific challenge or you have a specific concern that you would like me to come in on, and we work together. We can do prompts together. We can design together. We can do digital marketing campaign. We can do a lot of stuff together. But go to my website if you want to link with me on a one-on-one basis, and I'll be more than happy to look at your case, your situation, and we can come up with a winning strategy together. And my consultations are not just I talk to you and send you on your way. I follow up with you, I email with you, and I keep holding your hand until I see you winning. So definitely check that out at digitalmarketingwithmustafa.com. So let's go ahead and close out this conversation. Where are we at? All right, we're gonna stop sharing the screen. There we go. All right, fam. Well, thank you for tuning in. This is Mustafa, your digital marketing specialist. I'll see you next time. Peace.